Welcome to Maximum Driftcast, the only drift podcast on Halloween.
Wow. That was very good, Corey.
Thank you.
I can't find the mic. Corey, that was so good. You sound so like your costume is.
Thank you. I was really busy, but you can tell that I went all out.
Yeah. So for those that's listening to the audio version, this is the Halloween special, and Corey is my mom.
Is
Drift Mom.
dressed as Drift Mom.
And Paco, what are you?
I'm a Care Bear.
Wow. I really care about that costume.
Yeah. You know which Care Bear?
Grouchy?
No.
Huggy Bear.
No. I'm Drunk Bear.
Drunkaberu?
Drunk Bear.
Oh, you
Okay.
don't drink.
Watch me.
What do you guys think I am?
Let's see.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No.
It's Friday the 13th.
That's wrong.
Is it... What do you think, Corey?
I'm going with Harambe, but it scares me.
But what about my cape?
Oh, like I think people can see it on the video version. There's a red cape behind you.
I'm Spartan Harambe.
Spartan Harambe, of course.
This is Sparta now.
And it is so hot that I'm going to take it off.
Oh, no.
I know. Well,
That didn't last long.
Well, who knew it was going to be 95 degrees in Tempe
On Halloween.
on Halloween
Right?
when you plan your costumes?
Oh, boy. All right, I'm going to keep the suit on for now.
Okay.
At least now I can monitor audio with my headphones. So, hey, welcome.
There you go.
Welcome to the Halloween edition of Maximum Driftcast. That was our intro with our costumes, talk about our costumes. We've got Corey as my mom on the left. Corey's costume is spot on. Like
Thank you.
I can't even tell the difference. Like, if my mom were to walk in here, I'd be like, which one's which? And
Which one's which?
And then I point the gun at one of them, and then both of them have to try to tell me just memories of
Your
how they're the
childhood.
real one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. So that's my girlfriend in the background chasing the cat away because when I tried on my Harambe outfit when I first came in the mail, I jumped into Stephanie was laying in bed with Bucket, their Bengal, next to her, and I crawled along the floor so she couldn't see me, and then I jumped up and scared her, and it totally worked. She got scared, but then the cat was traumatized for about 2 days because he wouldn't trust me. He wouldn't even look at me. So she's chasing him away so we don't lose his trust again because, as much of a hero, national hero as Harambe is, Bucket just isn't into him. Which is a bummer.
Oh, I mean, like, you know how cats, like in movies, they're like the perpetrators or like they're usually like against other animals.
Paco's not a cat guy if you couldn't tell. Right, Corey?
Well, and Timmy, the tabby,
Timmy the
orange tabby, he could care less. He just wants
Yeah,
to
he's just
listen.
hanging out. He's just hanging out. So, for Halloween, we're gonna talk to some peeps in a little bit here. But first,
Let's talk about last week.
what happened last week?
I went to a concert.
You went to a concert? What concert?
Ghost. So
That's too spooky. I don't even want to hear about it.
well, it's perfect for Halloween. Remember when we
All right.
went to Grid Live? Our buddy Chris Stewart.
yeah, see Stu?
Yeah, he recommended, like, he went to see it. We saw him at Irwindale, and he's like, dude, you have to go check them out. They're pretty badass.
And is the band actually spectral and deceased?
Yeah, they are actually like a masked band. They're all wearing masks.
Like Slipknot?
Kind of like that. They're all wearing like demon masks.
That's
And-
yeah.
But
I'm
wait.
freaked out right now.
Wait.
This is way too scary.
Their singer, he's dressed like a black pope, pretty much.
Okay.
And it was super badass. Like, it was probably one of the most awesome concerts I've seen.
Oh yeah.
They rock like super hard.
Corey, you are getting your car ready for SEMA, right?
Yes, that's why I really need to get prepared and move on. So it was just a short visit. I thought I could just show up. Can I just show
Corey,
up?
Corey, we got to talk about your car a little bit more. Corey, tell me about your 240, your boss S14.
It's very pretty.
What motor do you have in there right now?
An LS something.
Corey, wow, you actually do
Wow.
know more about motors than I thought. Okay, so you've got an LS motor. Mm-hmm. Do you want to name some of your sponsors that are helping you build this car?
Nico,
Yep.
Exxon,
Yep.
and Elite.
Yep.
Okay.
Paint finishes.
Yep.
Sure. Sam.
What a yeah.
Sam.
Yeah,
Drift
that's
Idiot.
right.
Drift Idiot and Tofu Drift.
And what kind of body kit is on it again?
Oh, God.
I know it's tough to remember all those sponsors, but it's an animal name, right? Do you remember what it was? It's like a space name and an animal name.
Animal name.
Just think of what's the first one that comes to your mind?
A space animal.
Yep. Space themed, kind of like.
Odyssey?
No, yeah. Okay. And you've got
It's an Odyssey?
Odyssey.
Yeah, that's right. And you've got your other car there, the BMW. What kind is that?
Yes. X5.
Yep. Tell me a bit about that car.
Yep.
It's huge. It's got the grandest motor.
The grandest
fastest,
motor. Okay.
Very fast.
Yep.
And we're going to take all the awards at SEMA.
Wow, Corey. Well, it
That's
sounds
pretty
like you're
cool.
pretty confident. That's pretty cool. But if you want to stick around, stick around. Otherwise, you can go back to working on your cars.
Well, it's still on blocks right now,
Yeah.
so I need to.
You got to roll it over to
blocks.
SEMA pretty soon.
I
here.
do really need to get
The
going.
SEMA crunch is real.
All right.
I know. I'm feeling the pressure, and I really need to move on. But I wanted to be here for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, because like you're like half the time you're not here.
Yep.
The other
boy.
half time,
Here we go.
Sam's not here.
Yep.
Oh,
But-
Paco's old faithful. and-
Paco's always here.
But we're just happy that you could make it tonight and in this stunning costume. Like I really don't. It's very confusing for me because you look so much like my mom.
Thank you.
And you even sound just like I can't believe you even can throw your voice to sound just like my mom.
Well, I tried really hard because,
Well, as you know, Corey's quite the master of disguise. I mean,
Yeah.
he plays what's his character? Cheap Keys.
Chip Keys.
Chip
Yep. That's one of his
Keys.
characters.
Right.
You know, that's one of his characters. He has played. I think he played Bugs Bunny once.
Yep. And now he's Drift Mom.
Yeah.
Like, to the T. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
yeah, and I have a great picture with Drift Mom and
Oh, so
Dustin.
that's how you did it.
Yeah, remember Dustin? Remember Dustin, my old
Yeah.
good friend Dustin?
What happened to Dustin?
Jensen,
I don't know.
Jensen Argyle.
You don't know what happened
Jensen
to him?
Argyle. I have a picture at the Texas FD with Jensen Argyle.
And what's he up to these days? I haven't seen him around a lot.
Jensen?
Yeah.
Oh, he's like into trucks.
He's into trucks.
He's doing the big trucks out in the dirt, out in the hills. He likes to fly in the dunes.
I heard that he's starting a family. How do you feel about that? Like losing your best
Oh.
friend to a woman?
Oh yeah, well, Audra is awesome. So
Okay.
what?
No, it's just
I'm saying I'm
I
not.
just thought you'd be more upset about like.
No, I'm not. I'm happy for my bud.
Wow, this is
very
like we're actually really getting to the
This
core
is
of.
a new
Do you know
car-
that Corey was so emotionally involved? Like he's really deep well of emotions and.
Yeah, I guess like when he shaves his mustache, he just loses that.
Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. You had to shave.
Mm-hmm.
All your facial hair is gone. Then you're wearing
Yes.
contacts for like the first time ever, maybe.
I did, and
Yeah.
no hat.
Your commitment, and this wig is excellent
Thank you.
because you've got a
Thank
ton of
you.
hair now.
Did
All
you
right.
actually borrow Jen's clothes?
Yeah. Did you work this out with my mom? Did she share some clothes with you?
Yes,
Wow.
of course.
Wow.
So your mom is actually in this. Like she
Best
was
buds.
part of. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you coached. You
coached.
got coached by Sam's mom. You were told like, okay, you're gonna speak like this,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna pace yourself like this.
I studied like everything I do.
Wow.
And then
Full force.
And then are you gonna? Did my mom also tell you that you always scratch my back and give me some head pats before bed? I'm like, I need that every night. Like every
Oh,
night.
and 3 books.
Well,
At
'cause
least 3
3
books.
books, yeah,
I have
'cause
to read
you're-
3 books.
Because it sounds like my mom's not going to be here tonight, so you're going to have to do that when I go to bed, Corey. Is that okay?
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a glove and fill it up full of beans,
What?
and I'll take that bean glove
Whoa.
and put it on your back, and then you'll just think I'm here because I got to go work on my car.
This sounds
that's
just like
right.
Corey. All right. All right,
Okay.
Corey. Well, thank you so much for just stopping by and being part of the
Hey,
show as always.
That's
And
what I do.
it is what you do. And
what I
good
do.
luck. I'll see you at SEMA in a couple days.
Thank you. I'll be there.
I can't wait.
Bye, Corey.
Vegas.
I'll see you later.
Vegas.
Weehaw, Vegas.
Love you, brothers.
Love you too, brother.
Yeah. So what do you what about your week, Sam?
This week I was doing some cool stuff for Snap-on. We went to a couple factories. Can't talk too much about it, but they were doing some videos in some Snap-on factories, and I'm gonna make them awesome, hopefully. But yeah, we're shooting with Jay Nono. John Note is his name. Andy from Shoot First, and Scotty from Snap-on. Scott listens to some of the episodes. Scott built a Rocket Bunny FD that was awesome. He also has a Boss S14 actually.
Oh, nice.
And yeah,
He's got the Odyssey kit.
The Odyssey kit. Yep, he's got the Odyssey kit on his S14.
Nice.
Yeah. So we went to Angola, I believe it's called, Ohio, or was it Iowa? I don't know where it was, but it's a town of 5,000 where they build Snap-on stuff, and that was a fun little town.
And everybody in that town works for Snap-on?
Yeah, no, that is the truth though. Like literally,
Nice.
most of the town is run off of Snap-on.
I wonder if it's one of those cities that got founded like around the factory, you know, like how some cities long time ago they started because like all the people who moved.
Yeah, the factory was some of the factory for Snap-on, but it's been Snap-on for like 50-ish years, I think. But yeah, that was really crazy though. Like I have such more appreciation now for how things are built, because you don't really realize how much work and how much human energy and machine energy goes into like making one socket until you see. So yeah, from just seeing like cold formed steel to gigantic ovens to chrome plating and all that stuff. It's really insane. But yeah, I'm excited to start editing these videos after I get back from SEMA.
Never gonna buy Harbor Freight ever again?
I mean, I've got like a full kit of like Harbor Freight tools right now, but I will slowly be replacing those with Snap-on tools. I keep on asking them for free stuff, but apparently they don't give you free stuff even if you work with them. So that's not true. I did get a phone charger. I'm pretty psyched about that. But
it's considered a tool.
Yeah, but I've got a massive appreciation for the products now, and I want all of them.
Nice.
So I need like 20 to 30 grand to get started, Paco, if that's cool with you.
Yeah. You know like those the Snap-on trucks?
Yes.
You know those guys, like pretty much like once you talk to them once, you're set for life to get visits from them forever. Yeah,
I thought that's actually kind of a weird system, is that you can't just go to a store and buy Snap-on tools. Like you have to talk to your franchisee in a truck, and he comes along and he's got a big, beautiful truck full of tools that you get to walk in. And
he'll give you credit.
Yeah, so that's another thing, though, too, is that, I think a lot of these guys, you can't just shell out however many dollars in cash out of your pocket, so you can do like payment plan over many weeks, years, months.
There's some very funny memes on the internet about the Snap-on truck guy, so just check him out.
Really? Like what?
There's one. I don't know. It's kind of bad. Should I say it?
Nope.
Okay. So
these are one of my major people that I work with, so probably not.
Exactly.
Hey.
No, but they're funny. I mean, obviously it's not real, but it's just like. Anyways,
I'm gonna take off my Spartan cape now because it is getting hotter.
Let's take a break so Sam can remove his costume. So let me.
All right, feel a little bit better now. All right, I've got the cape off. My bodysuit's still on. I'm not actually gonna go out in public tonight as the gorilla. Is this a tasteless costume, Paco? I don't even know.
Let me see.
Paco's tasting me. That's weird to say. That's a line that I never thought I would say, is Paco's tasting me, and now I regret it deeply. But
it's not tasteless. It tastes like crap.
Yeah, tastes like poo-poo, because we don't curse on the show no more. But yeah, so car stuff. Corey and I are going to be in SEMA this week. Paco, do you want to make the announcement? I just saw on your Instagram today.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You've done something very silly.
Well, It's kind of silly, but I mean, it's for a greater good.
Oh, I know, it's awesome. I'm actually pretty excited about it. So, do you wanna?
So just a few hours ago, I found a vehicle on Craigslist.
Yep.
And I went and bought it.
That seems so odd of you. You never really do that.
I never do that, especially when it was only $800.
It was only $800? Yeah. Oh my god.
So let's see if people can get what it is. It has a V8.
Yep.
It's rear-wheel drive.
Yep.
Solid axle.
Yep.
So it's no
Fox body.
It's not a Fox body.
Do Corvettes have solid rear axles?
Nope.
Okay, so they probably something really stupid and insane.
Yeah, it's not stupid, but it is.
It's very utilitarian. It's very practical.
Yeah, it's practical. Exactly.
Is it a Dajiban? Oh. Okay. Well, all right. We'll get to that in a second. Hello?
Did somebody say Dajiban?
Yeah, actually, I just said Dajiban. Who is this?
I swear I heard it. I felt it. Somebody said Dajiban.
Where did you feel it? Was it in your loins?
Well, being a van like that, yeah, I felt it in my loins. How you doing, guys? It's Alexi Smith over here in Japan.
Hey, Alexi Smith over here in Japan. We talked to you a little bit ago, and now you're back.
You did? I am back?
No, I mean like back from, we talked to you months ago on the show, but...
Yeah, it was a fair while ago. But I heard you mention Dajiban. I have a feeling that it was Paco who bought himself a
oh my god
a Dajiban.
What is a Dajiban? I just said the word. I don't even know what it is though.
Okay. Well, for anyone who doesn't know, I made this video on my YouTube channel a little while ago about the genre of cars in Japan known as Dajiban, which is the Japanese pronunciation of Dodge van.
That's the best part too. I love those American words that are just smashed together, but with no V, because there's no V in the Japanese language, and it's the Dajiban. That's right. And there's no DGE sound either, so it's DAGI essentially, right?
Yeah, it's like Dajiban.
Dajiban.
Like Dajiban. It's hilarious.
Dajiban.
So it's a Dodge van. What year, Paco, did you get?
Mine is a 98.
Okay. And so any Dodge van is just a Dajiban, or is that something special? Or is there something else to it, Alexi?
Well, it's just a standard name for it. Like for all the American cars have names like that. For example, like Chevrolet, like for example, a Chevy Astro is like a Shibure Astro. Shibure. Yeah. But that's how they pronounce it. It took me a long time to figure out. I said, "Oh, what car do you drive to this guy once?" He's like, "Oh, Shibure." I'm like, "What the heck is that?"
Chevy.
He had to show me a picture on his phone. I was like, "Oh,
you mean Chevrolet?"
Shibure Impala. So Dodge vans though, there's it's not just like owning one though. There's like a whole scene behind them, right? Like that's why Paco bought one, because he's trying to be cool, like the racers out there.
Let him tell us about his video.
Oh yeah, tell us.
Okay, well, what happened was, obviously, I mean, I have the Noriyaro YouTube channel, and I make a whole bunch of car stuff. But there's these guys who drive these Dodge vans, and it's not just the regular spec. They lower them down, and for some reason, they all run Watanabe wheels on them. Like they get them custom drilled to fit, paint them Larry colors and put headers and exhausts on them and stuff like that. And I always thought it was really hilarious. So one of the guys who drives them goes to ABC Circuit quite regularly because he's a motorcycle racer. And I just started chatting to him. I was like, "Man, dude, these things are so cool." He's like, "Oh, we have an event here at ABC. You should come to it." So I went to it, made a video of it, and it absolutely blew up on the internet. Like it went everywhere.
Yeah, it got shared by pretty much every auto media source.
Those goofy Japanese guys. What will they think of next? That's like always the headline. Yeah, it's like, here's what they're doing now.
It really feeds into that. I guess the thing about Japanese people. It's like, oh, they take weird stuff and then they improve it. And what will they do next? Yeah. Oh, Dodge fans, those crazy Japanese.
And this kind of started though because Paco was telling me that most Japanese vans don't have room for a motorcycle inside, so these motorcycle racers just found the Dodge vans, and then they started tricking out their vans that they brought their bikes to the track in, and then suddenly there's a scene of van racing and drifting.
That's right. Well, it started out, like you said, a lot of the vans here are quite narrow. You can only fit like maybe one motorcycle in the back of them, like a Hi-Ace or things like that. Like obviously these days you can get like the Grand Hi-Ace, which is huge and can fit plenty of stuff in it. But back in the day, obviously, you could buy ex-military vehicles in Japan, like those were used on the Air Force bases and stuff like that. So that's what the original Dodge vans were, those sorts of things, where they'd buy them ex-US military, and they'd be all sort of beaten up and that sort of flat, painted color or faded paint or whatever.
Yeah.
And it became sort of a thing because, there's this guy in Japan called Tokoro George. He's like a sort of a celebrity.
Tokoro George.
And I guess... Yeah, Tokoro George. He actually he's like Tokoro, like cause he's from the city of Tokorozawa, and his nickname is George.
Nice.
And I guess he's sort of the equivalent of how Jay Leno is now, where he's a television celebrity, but for the longest time he's had like TV shows where he'll get weird and wonderful cars and their owners and just sort of talk about them. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of them on YouTube, and it's like. This is back in the bubble era in Japan when office ladies could afford Diablos or Countaches and things like that. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
So his style is very that sort of old school patina, rusty fake rust,
rat,
sort of rat look. He sort of rats things up, and he really likes sort of that 50s, 60s, 70s American culture. So there's another shop called I5, which I explained on the video. It's actually called I5 is the name of the dealership. It's an American car dealership. And the boss of that built his own Dodge van too, because they sell Dodge vans as well. They're like secondhand vans from the United States. Like they didn't sell them here standard, and they're all left-hand drive. And he built up this car, and a few of the other guys built up cars, and they all sort of decided, oh, this is sort of a thing. And for some reason, I don't know, there's a sort of a collective hive mind. They all made their vans look fairly similar. And it's not just in one part of the country either. It's like all over Japan you can find these Dajiban done up in this particular style.
Yeah.
And it really seemed to hit a nerve, like you said, it got shared everywhere. It even got on like Hot Rod magazines, like blog page. And
it's like
that
the most American
away.
thing you can do. So
that's the most American. And I'm a bit of a fan of like Hot Rod and all their sort of stuff on YouTube too. Obviously Tony Angelo is involved in that stuff these days as well.
Yeah.
So it just got shared everywhere. It even got like, they used it on like this. I was a bit upset about this on like Discovery Channel in Canada and Spike TV or something.
And did they request usage rights for that?
They sort of half-assedly requested it.
They told you they were going to do it and get fucked if you don't like it.
Yeah, sort of thing. And I was like, oh, it was a bit upsetting. But and then Fox Sports, sent an email. I was like, oh, can we use it? And I was like, no. And
Yeah.
I know that sounds a bit funny, but I don't know. As a media person,
what do they offer to give you some money or no?
No, that's the thing. That's the irritating thing. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways.
So it got shared. Anyway, so it got shared everywhere, and everybody all of a sudden is on Craigslist looking for cheap brand vans.
As Paco just did. So you are partially responsible for these Dodge cargo vans finding new life and new homes.
Well, I mean, if it's an untapped resource of hilarity, then I know that I am responsible for a lot of people making a lot of poor financial decisions.
Thank you.
I get emails from people like, "Oh, dude, I bought an A86 because I liked your video." I was like, I apologize.
I apologize. That's
for
great,
what you're about to embark upon. But it's cool. I mean, it's like sort of the phrase, coal to Newcastle. It's like we're shipping American culture back to America, sort of thing from Japan. I think that's
that is really
a cool thing to do.
Are there Dodge dealerships in Japan?
They do sell, I don't know. You know what? I don't know if they're official or not, but I'm pretty sure that Dodge does, Ford does. You do see quite a lot of Challengers around these days.
Yeah, as I say, I think I've seen some videos of yours or elsewhere. I've seen some Dodge Challengers over there, and you see Mustangs, of course, and Corvettes.
Yeah. The Corvettes. I don't know about the Corvettes.
Corvette. Is that how you say it?
You say it great, dude.
Corvetto. I think it's
Corvetto. Okay, yeah.
But they do sell a lot of those sorts of cars new, but obviously the vans never really made a presence, and they're all like the ones you see over here. They have like the stickers, like obviously it's from LA or something. You can sort of tell where it came from, some dealership in Phoenix or something like that. Like
so it's kind of. Is it called a Dodgy Biper? Dodgy Biperu. Is that it?
It'd be Viper, like Viper.
Viper.
Like Viper, I think would be the.
Hell yeah.
So if you're not putting any effort. I mean, some people. I mean, a lot of Japanese people can say the V sound if they make an effort to do it.
Yeah, but it's still not. Is there a way to write that in there's kanji and what's the regular writing? It
would be in katakana, and it would just be like ba-i-pa.
Yeah. Try thinking katakana though. Is there a V sign now or no?
Well, yeah, there is. Yeah, you can any sound in English you can actually write in kanji, but the generally accepted way is the way that everybody can pronounce it. Like no one. It's like the whole, it's spelled croissant, but everyone just says croissant.
I say no. I say croissant.
Oh, very good. Okay.
We say croissant.
So no one really bothers to pronounce it the right way. Anyway, it's the same thing. It's like if you say a foreign word in English with the proper accent, people are like, oh, okay, Mr. Hoity-toity pronouncing it the proper way. So, sort of thing, So it's like that pen pineapple apple pen thing that came out recently.
Oh my god!
What is that?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh wow! What Sam, you don't know?
No.
If you don't know, you're probably going to get shown it very soon. But but Japanese people they pronounce apple. They say it like apple. Like they don't really bother to pronounce it the right way. The right way. I'm sorry. The English pronunciation, because to them it's just a word we use. It's like we say menage a toit.
Whoa,
I guess.
easy, Noriyaro. This is a kid.
You know
show.
what I mean? It's like we just say it. It's just a phrase that we know the meaning of, rather than we're not trying to pronounce it the right way. But anyway, so yeah. So Dajiban. I think it's hilarious now that even overseas, like I'm seeing people tagging, Instagram with like.
It is your fault, dude. It is. Yeah. You brought. I mean.
Well, make that another thing that's my fault, because I remember that if you look on the internet, the first mention of missile car drifting in English was a page that I wrote. So
oh, really?
If you go, yeah.
Do they call him missile?
I mean, I'm sure people called it that. I mean, sure there was foreign drifters who called it that before that, and sort of knew. But that was one of the first things I think popularized it. So yeah, I'm sort of happy about that.
Well,
so Paco, what are you gonna do to your Dajibon?
Whatever Alexi says.
All right, Alexi, what should Paco do to his Dajibon?
So what's the process to be JDM? JDM as fuck.
Well, okay. The problem is you need to go out and buy a set of custom drilled Watanabe wheels, which cost more, at least double what you paid for that car.
Yeah.
The first step.
What I was thinking, Rota wheels makes a pretty much exact replica of Watanabe's.
Knockoff, classic
Paco.
I
mean, whatever you can do. I mean, the real Watanabe wheels are ridiculously expensive because they're all, especially those ones, they're custom. I mean, the Watanabe factory, it's only a small, it's a little foundry that that's all they do is they make wheels, and you can get them custom ordered. Yeah. And the size that fits those vans is fairly well known, so you can just sort of go, I want a Dodge van, size, but they do cost a lot. So yeah, I mean, anything you can do to get sort of Watanabe style wheels, I think is the right sort of thing to do.
Have you done a video there? Because I think that maybe actually be a cool video to go to the Watanabe factory.
It would be.
Factory. Yeah, I'm really sorry, Japanese listeners.
You just be Paco like that.
Paco. I'm Samu Narabin is my name actually.
Well, I'm actually Taco.
Taco?
Like an octopus.
Taco Ibaru.
Yeah. Taco.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah. Sounds good. I mean, if you want to go there, I'll take you there. I mean, it's not too far from here. It's just down in Kawasaki, I think.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm actually going to SEMA tomorrow.
Oh, well, I'll be in Japan. I'm sorry.
Later, Paco.
Bye.
I am excited for the inevitable trip once we get big factory sponsors for the show, and then we have money to do whatever we want. We're all going to fly to Japan.
First class.
We're going to first class we're going to get the sleeper cabins, but it's going to be bunk beds, and all three of us are going to be sleeping in there, and it's going to be fun. And then we're going to. We should actually just start a GoFundMe that's just like, we don't want money for anything else, just like give us some money to go to Japan and hang out at Noriyaro's crib, hang out in Daigo's Lambos.
Watanabe factory.
Ride around in the Watanabe factory. So yeah, maybe we'll do that.
Looking forward to it. Anything like, I mean, I do this sort of stuff all the time. Like, okay, for example, last night is sort of a little segue.
I like little segues. Big ones are more fun. Like I once had a Segway that was like 3 times the size of a normal Segway. Very hard to ride, but the little ones are hilarious. But go on. Okay. I'm sorry, everyone.
I'm sorry, Alexi.
That's all right. So just little segue. And people coming to Japan, like literally last night and into early this morning, I got a contact a little while ago from these guys from Facebook who were here in Japan on like a research tour, I guess, of they were from the Facebook Live team, sort of trying to learn how Facebook Live is used in Asian countries and stuff like that. And one of them actually runs in Lemons, cool. And he said, and funnily enough, the reason he found me is because he watched the Dodge van video, which got posted onto a Lemons group.
There you go.
Because obviously it's a very lemony sort of car to use, if you can get one that cheap. So I took them out last night to Tatsumi parking area and Daikoku Futo parking area. It was great.
For those who don't know,
I know about that from Speed Hunters actually years ago.
Is like the place where it actually supposed to be initially happening.
Yeah, that's what's going on there. But yeah, we talked about that in the last episode. That you said that's they've been cracking down a little bit more on that, at least last time.
Well, that's the thing. We arrived there, and because it was the Facebook Live people, I did a couple of really good Facebook Lives from both. So if you go to my Noriyaro Facebook page, they're both on there.
Wow, just free promotion for Noriyaro.
Hey, So we went there. We walked around. We did a bunch of cool stuff, and then the cops came. And then we went to Tatsumi parking area. We were there for about half an hour, and the cops came. So it was a fairly good night. We got to see plenty of stuff. So awesome. Yeah, I do that stuff all the time. So I have
Run
a van.
From the law.
So you're more than welcome. So segueing back into what we were talking about before, you're more than welcome to come here, and I'll take you around, and we can see all the cool stuff.
What size Segway was that? Is that a big one? Or
it was about a small to medium, I'd
average
say.
size Segway.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just average sized, and it nicely wrapped back into what we were talking about.
All right, so Paco's gonna get.
I gotta get the wheels.
The $2,000 RS Watanabes, and then what?
You need to get some air fresheners.
Yep.
Is the next step.
That I already have. I have some young leaves.
USDM or JDM air fresheners?
Like little trees and anything that says Dodge on it. Great. Okay.
Yeah,
next step. You need to get a Spectre air filter.
Oh, what a coincidence!
Spectre air filters. Huh? I hear that company rocks.
Well, we were just.
You need to get.
Yeah.
No, Paco was going to say that we just toured actually a bit of the AEM factory when we were in Irwindale. So now we know all about Spectre air filters, and maybe Paco has some buddies that we can talk to, and maybe you can.
Is it a Spectre?
Spectre air filter.
It would be Spectre.
Spectre.
Spectre air filter.
Spectre.
Number one.
Ichiban.
Like
Asbo.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, commercial.
Ichiban.
Yeah. All right.
Well, the funny thing about that was because I'm fairly ignorant of I've sort of vaguely heard of various American brands of stuff, dress up parts and stuff, but I had no idea. So I'm walking around the pits at this Dodge van event, which for anyone who's curious, it's called the D-Van GP, and they do actually hold it yearly at whatever it was a couple of months ago. So no, it's a regular thing. I missed the one 2 years ago, which I was a bit upset about. So that's why I was like, I have to go to this one that was on this year. So I'm walking around the pits, and they've all got the hoods up, and literally every car there has a Spectre air filter on it. And I was like, oh, okay, this must be sort of a thing. So I mentioned it on the video, and everybody just jumped down my throat. He goes, oh, it's just cheap Pep Boys parts, man.
Cheap auto sound. Yep.
But I mean, you got to remember, it's a correct part. I mean, if you got to have an American car, it's got to have the Spectre air filter on it. So everybody was made sure to make me aware that it was nothing particularly special. It was just a cheap air filter that Ricers run on their Hondas, But
yep.
But to them, it's like, oh, I got a genuine Spectre air filter. It's a cool thing.
I have a couple in my garage, like literally, like just ready for the van, like because they're so cheap. Like you just bought them on AutoZone for $20.
Yeah, well, there you go. So next step is so you need the wheels. You need to lower it.
Now that's my question right there. Lowering.
Yeah.
Because here in America, the most typical way of lowering cheap cars is just cutting the springs and making it ride like shit. Yeah. But what do they do in Japan? Do they do coilovers? Do they make custom springs? What's going on?
You know what? I never looked, and I have no idea, and I really should. I mean, next time I see them, I'll ask.
Well, thanks for nothing, Alexi.
Wow.
But here's the thing. I do think part of it, if you notice the wheels that they run, the wheels are really, really small diameter compared to the factory wheels and tires.
They're like 16-inch, right?
So, yeah, I think so. I'd have to check. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like 16-inch.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that itself with the tires that they run, it's really low profile. I mean, if you probably compared the standard wheels and those wheels together, I mean, you're already dropping the car down several inches to begin with. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a start. But after that, I don't know. I'll have to find out. I'll do a follow-up story. Maybe I'll go to I-5 and have a look at the guy there, Mr. Abe, the shop manager. Have a look at his van.
Yeah,
Did you see the other video I made from the American Picnic Day event where?
Yeah, at the little park. The
Dajiban car park. Yeah, where he's got like the NACA vents in the bonnet which have flaps.
Oh yeah, those NACA vents are like $5 here.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, perfect.
you're in the best position to build one of these things over there.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I mean, other than the wheels, just because like Watanabes are I mean, if they're expensive over there, they're super expensive over here and hard to find. And I wouldn't re-drill a set of Watanabes.
Yeah, that feels like sacrilege.
Yeah. So I mean, definitely going with a replica wheel, but everything else I want to do it as legit, like the most, like, you know, make it as similar as possible to the real Dajiban.
Are you gonna try to drift it, or is that?
Well, see, like that's the thing. They're not drift cars. Like there was
like
somebody drifting
cars,
it
right?
on your video.
Yeah, that he welded the diff.
I was about to ask about the
do
diff.
that.
Well, definitely want to weld the
Yeah.
diff because I want to do 2-wheel burnouts. Okay, so I don't know if you saw my Instagram, but I already did a burnout on that thing, and it was a one-tire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a one-tire fire.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, the neighbors came and yelled at us
Where were you?
at the shop.
Oh, at Elite?
But there's behind us there's like a little mobile home complex
Yeah.
that is full of like meth.
Cool.
Weird people.
Well, they'd be up.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at your Instagram right now.
Oh, there you go.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, one-tire fire.
So the car did not break. So for $800, you got a Dajiban that can do burnouts and totally works. Why? Like, why are kids buying anything else? That seems to be like the vehicle because
Of choice.
you got some hardcore street cred. Like if you roll up to your high school in a slammed Dajiban RS Watanabe wheels, I want to say like if I had one, I'd do like a couch or a bed in the back, a disco ball, some mood lighting.
Yep.
So is this going to be a Maximum Driftcast Dajiban? Can we like throw a huge logo on the side and can we?
No,
record?
I actually wanted to make it officially the Maximum Driftcast Dajiban.
Oh hell yeah! And then we can record while someone drives us around the city in the back of the Dajiban.
Yeah.
But so you're gonna make it a fun haver? You're gonna put a bunch of seats in there. I shouldn't say just
I don't
fun.
know.
You're gonna turn into a La Flama Blanca / fun haver.
Here's the thing. I was thinking about using this van actually as a support vehicle for the drift events.
Yeah, you
So
should.
have tools, tires, and all that stuff. And I'm really not interested on drifting it because it's automatic.
Yeah,
And I don't.
but you'll take it
I-
out once or twice
and
just
I
for
don't-
fun. But
Yeah, well, I'm just getting there and do burnouts, whatever. But I have way too many projects to
You
put
really?
more money
Yeah.
on this one. And this one, I just want to keep it simple, strip the interior, probably just put like a nice seat.
it
on
can
the
tow a drift
driver.
car, right?
Yeah, it's got a V8.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, I look forward to you towing my car around.
There you go.
More so than you already do, maybe. So,
Oh, well, I have a
sorry, I'm
question, Alexi.
Okay.
You may be aware it is Halloween right now.
oh yeah, so yeah, it's Halloween in America. It's not actually the 31st when we're recording this, but it's Halloween night. It's when all the kids go out and they get their candies and
And here's the thing: I just went to my favorite Japanese market.
the Fujiwara. It's not Fujiwara market. What's it called? Fujiya.
It's called. Fujiya. Yeah,
Fujiya. It's not Fujiya.
Yeah,
Paco.
Fujiya.
Come on.
Fujiya market, and I bought some 1 cup Oseki sake.
We have a sake.
Oh,
I got
Good.
obviously my
It's good.
favorite UCC coffee.
Hi. We have a Ichigo Premium Red Ale, a product of Nippon.
Sam has some Ichigo red ale.
Sorry, I had something in my throat.
And I have like a version, like something. I guess this is like the equivalent of Smirnoff Ice. It's a Takara J-pop Kanchuhai.
Do you know what that is?
Chuhai. Yeah.
Chuhai, yeah, it's peach, white
Good
peach. Tokyo Sparkle Cocktail.
Is that the Smirnoff Ice of Japan?
They do sell Smirnoff Ice at the convenience stores here, but I've never seen the whole icing thing.
Bros,
Never
icing
caught on
bros.
You have to watch our episode. I think it's like 4 or 3 episodes ago where we got iced on
Oh,
the
yeah.
show.
That was a bummer.
So and
here. You
actually,
see, the latest thing now is doing a shoey. Don't you know about that?
Oh yeah, no, we did it. So my first Formula Drift event, hanging with the pros a couple years ago. Forsberg, Corey, and we drove. Was Dustin there? Yeah, Dustin was there. Dustin, Corey, Forsberg, and I. We drove from Phoenix to Texas, and we had said that if Forsberg wins, he got a drink out of his boot. And he did.
Oh, awesome.
So, but I don't know if
disgusting.
I'm not saying that by any means like we started the trend, but it's like I feel like shoeys weren't really that much of a thing. I don't know. When did people start drinking out of their shoes?
Oh, well, I think it was always sort of a thing, but it just sort of became a thing recently because, who was it? It was an Australian racing driver who did it.
Yeah, at F1.
Just last week.
Which, by the way, is gross as fuck. Like, race cars, race suit, race shoes.
Super sweaty, disgusting.
There's literally, like, just, like, a culture of bullshit growing in your shoe after a 24...
Yeah, you're drinking foot juice.
Oh, gross.
Oh, great.
Yeah. But anyways, back to... I have a pack of Pocky, Pocky sticks.
Pocky, yeah.
But it's Halloween, lovely Halloween Pocky stick.
We heard that are you dressing up for Halloween this year? What are you?
Me? I'm gonna dress up as my favorite drift driver of all time.
Okay.
Wait. I've got the shirt and I got the hat. Hang on, and the glasses.
Okay, let's see if we can get. Please shoot a selfie. And send us that selfie so we can post it.
Yeah,
please.
Okay, I'll do that. All right. Okay, here's my.
Let's see if we can guess.
Halloween outfit. All right, hey guys, I'm here on Maximum Driftcast. I'm pumped to be stoked, and I'm putting my hands together and I'm holding them out like this. It's really great to be here today. I'm so happy to be here on Maximum Driftcast, and once again, I'm holding a big sub and then I'm holding a small sub.
But invisible sub.
An invisible one.
An invisible sub. There you go.
That's easy.
I'm Born Getting Junior.
No. I was going to say Matt Field, dude.
Give us a chance to guess.
Yeah, I was going to say that's either Mad Moik or Matt Field.
No, Mad. If you want to be Mad Mike, what is it? It's a tank top, a hat that's too big for your head, and you just walk around making rotary sounds.
With a perfectly 45-degree tip to the side.
Sure, bro.
Can
I go ahead and say right now that Mad Mike has the best looking hair I've ever seen?
Really?
I think Mad Mike's hair is
better than Asbo's?
Is very premium.
Very premium.
Asbo's hair is fine.
Fine.
I can't wait till we talk to him in a few episodes and he's gonna be like, "What the fuck do you say? My hair is fine." But he has.
I don't think I've ever seen Mike's hair. What does his hair look like?
He's always wearing a hat.
He's got buzz sides. He's got the cool cut right now. Like I'm doing it. My hair is a shittier version of it, but shaved sides, long hair on the top, slicked back.
Oh, okay, cool.
The Negan cut.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Do you watch Walking Dead? Do you have Walking Dead in Japan?
I have never seen an episode of Walking Dead.
Walking Diddy.
I haven't seen a single one of those shows.
You have to, man. It's good.
What's the other one with the dragons and stuff?
Oh, Game of Thrones? Come on, bud.
I've never seen an episode. I haven't seen anything of that.
Have you seen Stranger Things?
No.
Oh my God.
What do you do?
What do you watch?
What do you even do?
Do you watch Power Rangers?
I did watch an episode of that the other day, but it wasn't Power Rangers. It was a different sort of version of that.
Did you watch the original source material? Like
Kamen Rider? Yes, Kamen Rider.
Yeah, Kamen Rider's still on.
What's that?
Kamen Rider. Kamen means mask. It's one of those superheroes. There's only one guy, but he looks sort of like a grasshopper.
It's like Ultraman.
Okay.
It's similar sort of thing. Yeah. It's been around for a long time, but those shows are great. I mean, they're so obviously, like, watching them as an adult, it's just basically ads for toys, the whole episode. But,
yeah.
But on the other hand, though, like, for example, Kamen Rider is exceedingly violent. Like when he's fighting these giant, monsters, and he's like slicing off their tail. I saw one the other day. He sliced off the tail of a monster and then beat the monster to death with its own tail.
Hell yeah. Japan.
Oh, wow, this is actually really violent. I quite like this. Yeah. No, I don't know. I just don't. It's not conveniently on TV, so I don't really watch a lot of TVs. There's too much other stuff to do, man. Come on.
Have you seen Entai Kamen?
No, I know of it.
You know of it? Okay, dude, it's hilarious.
Yeah. There's so much stuff here that it's impossible to follow. Yeah.
For those who don't know what Entai Kamen is, and here in the States it's called Panty-man.
Panty-man, what's that?
It's a guy who wears like a girl's panties on his face.
Oh my God.
And he's got like an anime face.
He gets his superpowers from wearing
sniffing girls' underwear,
panties on his face. And
God damn
when he wants to switch to super high power, like he wears like jocks, like underpants, and he pulls them up over his shoulders, like
cross them,
like the Borat mankini.
Yeah, he does
sort
a
of thing.
Borat, exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then when he wants to switch to like high power mode, he pulls them up over his shoulders and crosses them over, so he's got them on the opposite shoulders, so it's squeezing his junk even more. So
well, this is something that I'm very interested in. Well,
it wouldn't be an interview with Alexi if we weren't talking about panties.
Yeah, we literally cannot avoid talking about panties with you.
All right.
So you're the Vonster for Halloween's. And
I'm pumped and stoked to be Vaughn.
Oh,
nice.
Let's talk a little bit about FD. So
before that, tell them what are our costumes.
Oh yeah, so I was Spartan Harambe for a minute there, but it got too hot. Do you know about Harambe overseas?
I do. The dick's out, that sort of thing. I know about that.
Is that a tasteless? Was that a tasteless costume? I'm not sure.
Well, Harambe? I think it's old enough to be funny.
Yeah, but then also a Spartan cape.
So he's wearing a Spartan cape.
I took it all off because
not anymore.
It's 80-ish degrees in here with the studio lights on. And I would have died. But I'm actually going to go out tonight as a character from Walking Dead. That's right, Negan, which apparently is a lot of hate. I didn't realize that this is like the costume that a bunch of people are doing.
Too soon, Sam.
But why? Paco sent me a video this morning saying that my costume is lame, that everyone's going to be doing it. I thought that there's going to be more Harambes than Negans, but...
Well, I'll show you that. I mean, because Lexi hasn't seen The Walking Dead, so I'll show you the video so you are more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm a Care Bear.
Paco's a Care Bear. He's just wearing a bear suit.
But you have to ask me which Care Bear.
Here we go.
Which Care Bear are you, Paco?
Drunk Bear.
Drunk Bear.
And I'm double fisting. That means I'm drinking.
I thought that sake was
both
for me.
hands. Oh. There you go. That's your sake.
Goddamn right, Paco.
Yeah, because I got sake and I got the Japanese.
He got his Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah. But anyways, back to Dajiban and back to drifting and all that stuff.
You have been announcing some more FD, and you've been around for the
and
FD
D1.
Japan and D1.
Yeah.
You've been around the Japanese drift season and scene, and Japanese FD just ended, right?
Yeah, the season for Formula Drift Japan just finished. We had the last round at a place called Okuibuki a couple of weekends ago, which is really cool. So that was a great. I don't know how many people watched that, but the layout itself was at a ski resort, so it was an extremely scenic sort of venue to use. It was quite unusual.
Yeah, I saw some judges' Instagram photos. That was pretty crazy.
Before we go further, is that a common thing, like to use no tracks as tracks? Because from your videos, I've seen like you guys have events at like bicycle, what comes not tracks.
The Gunma Cycle Sports Center and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it is very common, and the reason, obviously Japan is not a huge place, and you have to go a long way to get away from. Like, it's hard to be away from people, so. Which obviously you can't make a lot of noise. It's not like you can have a track out in the middle of the desert or something like that. So a lot of places like that are usually repurposed. For example, these ski resorts. Good reason. Also good reason that the ski resorts are used because obviously they're up in the mountains. There's usually nothing around them.
Yeah.
And they're not really used for half the year, for the majority of the year.
So was it the road leading up to the resort is what they drifted?
Yeah, it was the road leading up to the resort.
So it's some honest toga action.
Yeah, well, the track itself is like the main straight is part of the road which leads from the main gate up through the ski resort, and there's like the way it is. There's like car parks on the left and the right, and they're kind of like on leveled out pieces of ground. So the course itself came up the road. Like a hard left into one of the car parks, back out, and then back down onto this road, and then back down the hill again. Okay. So it was an interesting course. It was the most sort of toge spec, I guess.
And pretty tight.
You could say that Formula Drift has done. It was very tight.
Yeah.
The first corner was extremely difficult. We did have a couple of big crashes there as well because the first corner was a very tight uphill left.
Yeah.
And the outer wall, I guess you could say, was literally like rocks, and it was like a big rock wall.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's almost like a castle, like Because the whole place is built on a hill.
We should really like trade out the Florida event here and then do some fucking hill climb. That'd be so fucking cool. Like, I think that would really appease the unruly people in drifting right now. They're like, FD's so boring and shitty because it's too fast, and that course is like, let's do a fucking hill climb.
Here's some toge for you guys.
Yeah, like we should do an authentic toge round. Maybe like we go Pikes Peak. No, that'd fuck up all the cars. We can't do Pikes Peak. I don't know where.
Just a little piece of Pikes Peak.
Yeah. Well, like the track that one of my favorite Turk edits that I ever did was Burke Mountain, and that was a ski resort road, and that looked freaking nuts. And like it'd be hard to spectate though. Was it hard to spectate at FG Japan that road?
Well, that's a good thing. At that particular event, there were a lot of places where you could sit because there were a lot of elevated areas. Like there were car parks even further up, like where we were at in the judging tower. So it was very easy for anyone anywhere on the in the venue to see the entire track. So it was quite good to spectate from.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that'd be one of the issues with trying to run an event like that unlike rally racing where people are cool to like watch like one corner. I think in drifting you kind of want to see it all, especially because it's such a short run. Yep. But yeah, I mean, were there guardrails? Like, was there any threat of people flying off of a cliff?
The middle of the course, like where they came up the road, and then there was the hard left into the car park. That was actually a bridge over a river, and it was about I don't know, about a 12-foot drop from that down to the river. And the only thing stopping anyone from falling into that was a very, very thin sort of K-rail concrete that had been installed there for that particular day. So no one did. One person sort of came close, but not really. So there was a threat of falling, plummeting down into a river.
Maybe that's what drifting needs, though, is more
danger.
More danger is like, if you had like an open-sided bridge that people had to drift over, but then like Tyler McQuarrie would just like bash someone off of it when he was upset.
Make it a bit more like Super Mario Kart or something like that.
Or Death Race.
Or Death Race.
Yeah. It was a cool venue. Obviously, the rock wall did claim a couple of victims, but it was just because the course was it wasn't like especially the entry. There were all the clipping zone, the clipping points and outer zones and stuff like that clearly marked, but especially the entry, it was throwing a car at full speed 90 degrees against like this massive rock wall, which was not a smooth wall that you'd sort of
you can't just like drag the ass of your car against it, because if you touch it, it's gonna suck you in.
Yeah, and there was one car, the car built by Weld, the JZX100, driven by Yamashita. Was the whole rear of it was just absolutely caved in when he followed Yokoi, and Yokoi went in too hot and sort of hit the wall, but he followed him in and had a sympathy off and just completely annihilated the car.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So who won the event?
It was overall Andy Gray won.
Really?
So, yeah.
That guy is ripping up the FD. What were the final standings for the year? Like
I think it was Andy Gray first. I don't know about the rest. I have to wait. Let me. You can hear me.
Where are your notes?
Where are your notes?
My note. I was looking.
Do you know
for
that
my
joke,
notes.
by the way?
I do.
Okay.
I made that joke. I made that joke to Ryan Lantane once, and he wasn't very. He didn't really think it was very funny.
Well, we've driven it home a lot on the show, so I think he's probably hopefully used to it now.
Yeah. Well, the winner was it was Andy Gray overall who won. The guy who won that event was Yokoi.
Yeah.
Like Andy Gray won overall. Andy pretty much sealed up the championship about, I think, after qualifying. I think technically is when he got the enough points to win it. The final was between Yokoi and this guy who was in the yellow Taguchi, who drives a yellow S15, which is sponsored by Up Garage, and he actually works at Up Garage, which
nice.
Is kind of cool. Yokoi, it ended by Yokoi crashing because Taguchi entered the first corner, went a little bit too shallow, and Yokoi kept up with him, but then the rear of Taguchi's car kind of stepped back a bit. It tapped Yokoi's front wheel so that the car straightened out, and it hit the corner of the like where the bridge was. It hit the corner where the concrete blocks were, and just sort of spun the car around, and that was the end of that.
Damn.
So it was a very dramatic end. It was a layout that did seem to suit the S50, the guys in the S15s, like the more lightweight cars.
Yeah. Was it a hill climb or was it downhill or kind of flat?
No, it was very steep uphill to start with, so it sort of suited the run up wasn't that long, so it did suit the lighter sort of more low down cars like that.
Are those guys running SR, or some of them still running SRs, or is it mostly JZs, V8s? There's not a lot of V8s.
No, there's still plenty of guys who run SRs. Yokoi has a 2J in that car. I'm pretty sure that Taguchi has an SR20 in that.
Huh.
There's still quite a few SR20s going in D1 Grand Prix and in Formula Drift.
See, I hear shit like that, and it's like I want to, like, part of me wants to like rehab and rebuild my SR a little bit because it's already in there, on my blown up drift car.
You still have to pull it out to rebuild it. You're saying?
Yeah. Will you do it for me, Paco?
Nope.
Sam, if for every time I've heard you say I should fix it, if you just undid one bolt, you'd probably have it done by now.
I know. It's true. That is true. I should probably just not go out tonight. No, I'm not even going to talk about it.
Well, we have to go out.
I just want it done.
It's Halloween.
I just want it to be done. Is there a way to get someone else to work on your car?
Yeah, you just need money.
Yeah. Oh, I just bought a new camera and.
Okay, so what? I mean, and I don't want it to take the conversation away too far. Just real quick. How long you had your Skyline for?
The beer can Skyline. Jeez, I've had that like.
You've got an R32 Skyline, right?
Yeah, about 5 years. I don't know, man. 5 years now, I think.
How many times have you pulled the engine out or like fixed the engine on that thing?
Never.
He's got an RB25 on it. Yeah. 25, right?
It's an RB20.
Oh, 20. Not even. Okay, so it's got the RB20.
There was those people that were telling me instead of getting an SR, I should go RB20, but apparently
I don't do that.
Don't do it.
The thing is, in Japan you have more support for RB engines, so here it doesn't make that much sense. Where there's a lot of support for JC engines.
Yeah.
So
we actually have.
That's why JC is a better option here in the States. But anyways,
enough about
back to drifting.
So wait, you have a question? Hit it.
Yeah. So that was FD.
But before we don't get away from FDX, I have an FD question. So Andrew Gray won the season championship for FD Japan. Why do you think he won that and he's 33rd in Formula Drift standing at FD America? And let me say, disclaimer, he did not attend Long Beach. So he was down around, but he still wouldn't be better than high 20s from the looks of it if he actually attended and did okay. Like, why do you think that he can win Japan and is so low in America?
Because I think he'd probably agree with this, is the fact that he has massive support. And I don't mean like he has support like people supporting him. I mean he can support himself in Japan. He has his own transporter. He has a crew. He has a mechanic. He has a tuner, and he brings everyone with him. Like
is
in
he
Japan,
the Von Gittin of Japan?
Yeah, he is. No, if you look at Andy's pit in Japan, he's like Chris Forsberg, the equivalent of Von Gittin or any of those guys. Like he's got he's got the biggest rig. Actually, Daigo probably has the biggest rig, to come to think of it. But he's one of the three, one of the top three people who has all their stuff there. He has a full crew. He brings.
Just so strange because seeing his FD US setup, he just seems like one of like the. I don't mean it's any bad way. He seems like one of like the bottom 16 guys that kind of has. Yeah. He's got a small trailer. He's got his easy up, and he's got like 3 dedicated dudes, and that's it.
But imagine moving all his stuff from Japan. It would be hardest.
Well, I know it's obviously hard to do a season away from your prime location. And by no means is this question saying that he's a bad driver. Obviously, he's an incredibly skilled driver. If he can win FD Japan, it's just interesting to me that he's almost last in the U.S. drift, Formula Drift, and then he gets first by a little bit of a margin, or was it a close race in Japan?
No, it was a fairly good margin over Yokoi.
Damn, and Yokoi second, and Yokoi did okay here. I don't remember what his stand-in was last year, but he was definitely awesome to watch.
I think he finished in top 10.
Really? Yeah, he was definitely super cool to watch. He broke a very expensive piece of photo equipment of mine that I can't talk about, but yeah. That's interesting though. All right, D1. What do you think about that?
So for people who don't know, so you did the English commentating on FD, right?
Yeah. How does that work though? Because Jared does it sometimes. You do it sometimes. You've done it together. I don't know how that works.
No. Well, the way it worked this year was I did the commentary on the live stream for every round of FD Japan except for one, which was the Okayama round, where Jared came over for that because that was one of that was the world round. That's why Chris Forsberg came over for that.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't technically an FD round. It was a world round. So Jared is like the world commentator. So he was over for that. So I was there, but I was over on the Japanese side.
Oh.
With Arito and the other Japanese commentator that they've got.
Nice.
But I did every other round for that as well. I was with Ryan Sage. So
Ryan Sagan.
Right. Yeah. So I was in that role for the rest of all the other events, including the last round at Okuibuki.
But then,
so there's that, and then
you did the one.
That's right. Last year it was because I might have mentioned this on the previous one, but I'll just say quickly again. Monster Energy wanted to show when Vaughn Gittin was over at Odaiba, and also when Daigo Saito, who's also a Monster sponsored driver, debuted his Lamborghini. They wanted to have like an English commentary stream for the US audiences. And D1 basically went, all right, well, we'll get Alexi, we'll get him, because they already knew I was doing Formula Drift.
Yep. Mm.
And they said, okay, can you just do all the rounds this year? Just sit in the booth with the live stream guy. Yeah, well, can you do it? Like, do you think you can do it? And they asked me a lot of. It was funny because they're asking me a lot of questions like, so which drifting series do you actually like more? All this sort of stuff. And I'm having to be extremely diplomatic.
Yeah, as I say,
well.
That's a weird position to be put in.
Yeah, but they were happy with it. And so what I did is at every round of D1 Grand Prix this year,
sorry, I would go and... That's like I got to do a callback. It's like a ménage à trois, and one of them is like, which one of us is prettier? And then you're like in the middle of it all, and you're like, this is weird. I don't know what to say.
I like you both.
I like you both a lot, and
like you have the spirit, but you have the passion.
You have the body. You've got the energy. Sorry, go on.
And you have to whatever that person is, that girl is insecure about. You have to say, the other girl. If this girl, she thinks her hair's really bad. It's like, her, but she might be pretty, but she's got bad hair. You got nice hair. It's like, so
like,
sort of FD, saying stuff like that.
FD, you can break through in Japan. Like, you're gonna make it, girl. And then like D1. It's like, your judging system's not all fucked up. Like,
you have all these robot assisted.
Which I don't know. I say that off the cuff because I really don't know. That's one of my questions I wanted to ask is how does the judging system feel for you this year? First, can we talk about what it is, and then we can talk about how you feel about it?
Okay. Well, anyway, I'll finish what I was just saying before. Basically, for all the D1 Grand Prix rounds. That's okay. For all the D1 Grand Prix rounds, I'd go and sit in the broadcast tent with the Nico Nico Doga guy, Nico Nico Doga is like the YouTube of Japan sort of thing.
Hi.
And they do a lot of live things. And I'd sit there with my microphone and I'd watch the monitor and listen to what they're saying. And I'd sit there with the program in front of me and just basically say what's going on. I'd narrate what's going on, basically.
Yeah.
And we had quite a lot of people watching that. It was the same stream. If you listen to the left audio channel, it was Japanese, and the right audio channel was English. So it was very convenient.
And if you have headphones on, you're fucked up because you're hearing two different languages.
Well, you could just listen to one headphone, but the people who got screwed up were people who are watching on like iPads and stuff like that who didn't have headphones.
Screwed. Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, so so the judging system for D1 Grand Prix, for the people who don't know, it's called DOS, and I found out what it stands for. It's the D1 Original Scoring System.
Oh.
Yes, is what it stands for. There you go. It's a computerized judging system where they have telemetry, hardware installed on all the cars, which is based around a drift box. Which is it's sold out of the UK, I think, and it feeds back to a central computer. It feeds, it runs at 30 hertz. It feeds back, speed, line, angle, whatever, all that sort of stuff.
Wow! And
all the courses are split into different sectors, and different sectors have different weightings. So, for example, the front straight will be out of 30 out of 100 points, and it will be weighted towards, for example, top speed and the rate at which people attain full angle. So basically how hard you chuck the car into the corner. And then sector 2 might be, the long sweeping right, as it was at Odaiba at the last round.
Do they have? Sorry, quick
Yep.
Stop here. Do they have sensors to sense the actual front tire angle?
No, they don't. See, that's an interesting thing. I was actually going to get to that. No, they don't. That is a visual thing, but it goes off the slip angle of the car. So if like the angle of the actual chassis itself. So you could be at full understeer, but the car is still like four-wheel sliding in the right angle direction.
So it's got a gyroscope that kind of measures the lateral G.
Yeah. So it doesn't measure things like that. And there have been a couple of cases where you've been like, oh, that was a big understeer. But just the way it generally works in D1 though is it's understeering, but the car is still sliding. If you think about it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really. If anyone who's been involved, who's drifted for a long time, sort of understands that. Oh, well, the car is actually still drifting. It might not look pretty, but it's not technically wrong from a competition point of view. So doesn't really affect that.
Okay.
So the different parts of the courses are weighted differently. It's all fully explained, even in the what do you call it, the program that the spectators get. It's all explained in there. So it's very transparent and easy to understand. That said, obviously, you're still going to get people going, oh, the DOS system's weird, man. I don't get it. I don't know what. But then again, it's usually the people who don't get a good score who say that.
Right.
And the people who get a good score. It's the same with regular judging.
Yeah, I was going to say regular with FD America judging, where it's like if you get the win, you're not going to be like, fuck the judges. It's only if you feel like you're given a bad call.
That's it. So, there was maybe only one run. I'll put it this way: at the last round at Okuibuki, which was Ryan Lantane, Robbie Nishida, and who was it? The D1 judge, for FD judge, and Andy N.
Andy N. Yep, everyone's favorite judge in FD.
Right. Those three. There was only maybe one result in one battle from one judge where I thought, really, you're going to give that one more time? That was like so 1/3 of half a point. I thought was a bit weird. And at the last round of D1, there was maybe one run that was the same thing where the car's got an even score instead of like maybe a 6-4. I thought
that's pretty tough, isn't it? Though for both cars to break even, that's probably pretty rare, right?
It is. It happens, but it's sort of if both cars fall within a certain parameter, like from a 4 to a 6 or something, they'll get like a fairly even sort of score, whatever the parameters are set up. So you do get even scores every now and again. But again, that was one run where I thought, oh, I wouldn't have given it that, but it wasn't like a positive or negative result. It was just an even score, and I thought, I would have given it to that guy instead. So it was only like half a result off. So I don't know. I think it does pretty well for what it's meant to do, and the fact that it is consistent. And speaking of consistent, but I guess the problem is though, we've had a consistent result all year of basically Daigo Saito winning everything. Yeah,
is he the G1 dominant guy right now or this year?
Yeah, well, okay. Put it this way: he won 6 out of the 8 rounds.
Damn! Wow. Because Daigo is like the ultimate follower, at least in the American scene. He's considered like one of the best follow drivers of all time. And is there a way for the computer to measure proximity to the car in front of you? Is that one of the aspects of its judging?
Yeah, it is. It is for the actual tandem, because they change the judging system. It's the same with a human judge, but they do change the judging system when you have tandem runs and the qualifying runs.
Right.
So it depends on the course, but for example, at Odaiba, it's not like line isn't really that important because there's really only one line you can run, and because it's quite a narrow course. They did have human judges there who were taking off points for dropping wheels off. Like if they put 3 wheels off,
okay, so
they would get a.
I was going to ask that, but I wasn't sure. But there is a human aspect to the judging of D1 as well. Yep.
It depends on the track, but there's this one guy, Kamimoto, who is a super duper OG driver.
Kamimoto, if you've ever seen OG driver.
Yeah. Sorry. If you've ever seen, everybody's seen that. I forget the guy's name, but he used to drive like a green AE86, and he keeps smashing the bumper on like every run. I think, like, I'm sure some of the viewers are aware. Like in that
Parsons.
that era of like the original, 2001 series of D1 Grand Prix. He drove a car that looked like that, except it was red.
Mhm.
So, and he wore a helmet. He looked like a Power Ranger sort of thing.
Hell
so
yeah.
he's been around. He's a cool guy. He's been around for drifting for a long time, and he's like the human judge, and he's sort of the arbitrator. Like if the computer gives a funny result or something's odd,
Yeah.
or something odd happens, or if there's contact that has to be called one way or the other, he's the one who does it. And depending on the course, they do have sub judges where they're watching if cars drop wheels off on certain parts of the course, and they just basically wave a flag to let him know that yes, they did actually drop 3 wheels off there.
Interesting.
And of course, they have access to the replays as well, which was used for one of the runs at Dajiban where a guy, he just barely dropped 3 wheels off, so he had to get a negative one, like a -1 on his score.
So in your opinion, do the fans seem about as accepting of the calls as much as they would in FD? Like, is there more or less or about the same amount of respect for the calls?
I think that as far as D1 goes, that's like the hardest question to answer.
Yeah.
As far as D1 goes, I mean, the crowd just basically accepts what the result is.
Yeah, they're there to see some fucking
Really?
drifting, and a lot of the time, I think most fans are not so crazy diehard about who wins and loses. They just kind of want to see some cool stuff. But they're the sect of people in FD and D1, I'm sure, that are super critical of any call.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. That's just the crowd I'm talking about. The actual drivers themselves are all. I mean, there's just as much, if not more, talk. After the event. I mean, the managers of D1 Grand Prix are usually there for like a long time afterwards, having to talk to various people and soothe nerves and things like
Right.
that.
Yeah, I mean, these are people's
yeah.
professions. Like in FD, like
Yeah.
we've talked about this a lot. Like their entire lives are essentially riding, or at least not their entire lives, their entire careers are riding on these decisions at times, and winning an event is not necessarily the key to a good sponsorship, but it definitely helps to say you won an event. So yeah, I understand why calls can be made, calls can be questioned, I guess, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, even at Formula Drift Japan, there at the Okayama round, there was one particular driver who was quite unhappy with his result and did request a little meeting with Lantane and so forth. Who I saw them having a little meeting afterwards, and
did the lawnmower man slap him into line as he does?
I hope he brought some good edible arrangements for that meeting.
Yeah, he better fucking showed up with
I'll have to tell them
a
about
big
that.
basket full of them.
Yep. Sushi.
Yeah, a nice sushi arrangement. Yeah,
There you go.
That's good. There you go. So yeah, there's just as much like that's BS as there would be overseas, but I guess it doesn't really show as much on like you definitely don't get people getting on Instagram and going like
You don't
do
get
with some of-
drivers saying "fuck FD" on
it's-
Instagram.
which is the
Or do you-
weirdest thing. It's the most bizarre thing, man. When I go on Instagram, I see some of the American drivers like saying this sort of passive aggressive stuff. And it's like, dude, man, you just
Yeah, I forget
That's-
when
that's
did we talk to you before or after Forsberg Waingate, New Jersey, in Formula Drift, New Jersey?
That's about.
I think that was just after. I think it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we were talking a couple weeks ago over Facebook, and you said you had some commentary about like the whole grassroots versus professional.
Which shouldn't even be an
yeah.
argument. It's just bullshit like that. I wasn't here for the episode that first got addressed, and I wish I was because I would have shut that shit down. Because like why is there an argument? Like these are very different things that could exist that do exist like at the same time. But obviously you got some commentary on that.
Well, I mean, I was talking to Paco about it. I was like, there's a few things I could probably throw into that conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Fire.
I guess everyone now is calling it party drift. That's that style of driving, right?
Yep.
Party drift.
All right. So let's take it back to the very beginning. So I'm not 100% aware of exactly what went on, but was it Super D? Is it?
Yeah.
That event?
There was a rad drift event that occurred.
That's the one, yeah.
And for whatever reason, a bunch of the internet decided to turn it into a hateful thing, and rather than saying, "Oh, drifting's fucking rad," like there's this rad event of drivers driving cool and having fun, they immediately
Japanese guest.
the Japanese guys they immediately turned it into FD fucking sucks, which is
Right.
a weird move to make after seeing some sweet drifting. They then turn it into FD should be first, second gear, tight corner, inches off the bumper. And granted, there are moments in FD where there's inches off the bumper, but these are very different things. Like there's party drifting and there's competitive drifting, and let's have them both. Is my argument. But what do you got?
Yep. Well, okay. I did see there was some video of people doing burnouts in Naoki and that doing burnouts in the pits at FD at their display or whatever it was, the Super D display.
Yeah, which I guess that's where this started, right? Because I guess
that's sort of where this all started. It's like, oh, screw you guys, you're not going to tell us what to do. Well, first of all, Naoki has a history of doing that sort of thing anyway, and it's not, and he's not really doing it to give the finger. He just does it because he's a loopy bastard, and that's what he does.
He's a loopy bastard, and that's what he does. Fair enough. I didn't realize. I never saw the original videos. I didn't know that was the Japanese drifter doing that. I thought it was just the SoCal kids doing that.
No, it was.
I'm pretty sure it was all of them.
Like what Julian told me is that they pretty much they got kicked out.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, let's just go, and they fired up their cars, and they're like, well, I mean, let's just go, but let's just make some noise. And Julian started revving up his engine. Yeah. But then he looked at Naoki, and he just started pulling a burnout, and he's like, oh, shit, well, I guess I'll just do that as well.
If one person does a burnout, so does the other.
So it was Nakamura who started the burnout just out of nowhere. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, and he does that. There was I put the video up of him doing that. It was several years ago now at the Nagoya Auto something or other show. And as a result of that, he actually had to turn up to Tokyo to the people from Option Magazine who ran the event, apologize in person, and he actually shaved his head in penance.
Oh my god, I love Japanese culture so much.
That's like today's seppuku.
Yeah, that is. Yeah,
basically,
seppuku is a little bit too extreme, but shaved head. That's pretty rad.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's a very common thing now. Like you do see, for example, there's that all-girl idol group AKB48. It's like sort of the cute girl idol group. And one of the girls got caught like with a boyfriend, and they're not meant to have boyfriends. So there's like, she shaved her head and appeared on TV like crying and apologizing, sort of thing, which is like it was a big thing several years ago. So yeah, it's quite a common thing. So yeah, but Naoki is the kind of guy where he doesn't really need an excuse to do stupid stuff like that. Like he just you give him a chance and he'll do it. So there is that.
Okay. What would you say to the dudes that are shitting on competitive drifting?
Well, he's going there.
I would say that. I mean, it's so hard, isn't it? Because these days, I know that all the top FD drivers would like to say there's a lot of stuff they would like to say publicly,
right?
Yep.
But the fact that they have such huge sponsors, and I'm not making excuses, or I'm not saying that, oh, you should say. I'm not saying that at all. I totally understand that, like what their position is.
Did you listen to our Vaughn show last week by chance?
I did, and as usual, he made a lot of really good points.
Yeah.
Everybody, all these top guys love to drift. There's nothing more than they like to do than drift.
Yeah.
Yep.
And drifting with other dudes in cars you don't care about not for a trophy, just for fun is the best thing.
Right. Yep.
So there's no real difference, and I can't understand personally how. I guess it's like it's sort of like an affront to people's egos, which I think is the worst thing. Where you go, oh, these guys reckon they're better than us, so screw them. Whereas they're actually exactly the same as you, and
they both make each other better. They both make each. FD makes party drifting cool, and party drifting makes FD cool. Because if there's only without, let's say that all drifting was serious and competitive, like what the fuck is that's not fun.
Or if all drifting
is just a party, like that's pretty fun still, honestly. But then like
get old.
But what's more? Like what is the next level? Like you're gonna always ride your friend's door, and then you're gonna say I could do this to other people, but how do I prove that?
That's it. I really think that the people who, and it's like this in Japan too. People who are the sort of like that sort of party drift sort of thing, like, oh, let's keep it low horsepower, let's keep it whatever. I mean, it's a good thing to do, because if everybody has a similar sort of horsepower, similar sort of setup and level of cars, and especially if they're all like slammed and really low and can slide really easily,
yep,
without gripping up and straightening up, it's really easy to drift. I'm not going to say, sorry, that's a bad way to, I don't want to say easy, but it makes it easier to drift together and have fun and make it enjoyable. But the fact that we all drift, we all like motorsport, there is a competitive aspect to it. Who's the best? So I guess it's always going to, that sort of stuff is always going to sort of float to the top anyway. Like it's going to separate out.
It is always going to be a pissing contest on everything, not just drifting.
On everything.
Yeah,
no matter what. I mean, no matter what you have, it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say give a few examples of stories I've heard. Right, even in Japan, there's a similar thing. Okay, there's this one guy I know who, he's one of these sorts of people who is obsessed with
underwear, girls' underwear.
Not girls. He very well might. Knowing the guy, he very well might be, but. He's the kind of guy who he'll cut and weld a pair of knuckles as short as he can just to see what it'll do.
Yeah.
Or he'll try
to watch the world burn.
Or he'll put NOS on his car just because, or just whatever, for no reason. He was at an event once, and there was a barbecue after the event, and he was sort of talking oh man, I'd really like to see if I could try and get more into competitions. And there was a D1 driver there, and they'd all been drinking, and basically this guy said to him, "No, you'll never get anywhere in professional drifting, man, with the way you drive and the way your attitude is and the way you set up your car. You'll never have a chance to get into the top level." And it ended up in basically a fist fight
between
these two guys.
I don't think that really happened there.
I know all the people are concerned. The D1 driver actually is not involved in D1 anymore. He got banned for a year.
Wow.
Because of this.
Because of this, yeah. The other guy basically just went, "Oh well, screw you. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and having fun."
Yep.
And there was another guy who sort of got into it and kicked one of them in the face to try and separate it out. He almost got a ban, but he had to go to the head office and say, "Look, I was just trying to break it up. I wasn't actually part of the fight." So
wow,
you get that exact same ego thing where the dudes who can drive, their driving is really cool, but and they have to change their attitude somehow to get into actual.
Let's put it like that. Like a lot of people over here thinks that, Japan, period. Like there's no everything Japan. It's it's all grassroots, it's all style. But let's put it like this: even in Japan, there's people who is into the party drifting, and there's people who is into the professional drifting. And it's a very different thing from one from the other. It has nothing to do with being Japanese drifting. It's just
not at all.
Exactly.
No.
So see, that's what I mean. I really hope a lot of people listens to this. We need to get rid of that whole thing. It's just better because it's Japan.
We've always tried to make the point to our listeners that be chill. Just love the sport and don't be an asshole.
And don't get me wrong, dude. I am super biased when it comes to everything that comes from Japan.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I don't care. I'll just because it's Japanese, I'll try it. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that it is the same. There's no such thing. Oh well, D1 is cooler. I think on your last time you were here with us, you said that there's not really that much difference between D1 and FD Japan, right?
I think overall the field of drivers in if you take the top 16 guys in D1 and the top 16 guys in FD, I would say the average level of cars and drivers is slightly higher in D1, but that's simply because it's more of an established thing. And the guys who drive in D1 are basically, they are D1 drivers, and it's what they do. It's part of their their overall business and whatever, or it's just they've decided that's the horse they're going to back.
Yeah.
Obviously FD is still a bit younger in Japan, but the top level, I'd say the top 8 guys in FD Japan are very comparable to the top 8 in D1.
I want to see. Sorry, quick sidetrack.
Very similar.
Forsberg and Vaughn have both said that they're coming out in the world of drifting. When they realized that drifting was going to be a thing, it was going to be awesome. Was this Signal Auto event in California, where it was I don't know if this is different events. Forsberg will definitely remind me later on this week that I fucked up. But yeah, it was the Japanese versus. I think it's a different event. Yeah, but anyways, there was a Japanese versus American driver event. I want to see that again. Can we do a top 8 Japanese versus top 8 American drivers?
I think it was a D1 US versus Japan or something like that.
Yeah. Do you know what that is, Noriyaro? Alexi?
Well, I know there was that D1 like US versus Japan thing. And
Yeah,
I think
D1.
JR won it, didn't he?
Yeah, so we were talking about JR. The signal auto thing might be different. That was a different story. I'm merging the
I think
two.
the signal auto thing was like something it was like, wasn't it a car park maybe at Irwindale? I don't know. Like,
yeah,
like Koguchi was there or something like that.
yeah,
I don't know.
that's a different story.
Yeah.
But Vaughn
Okay.
and Chris had said that was the time of their coming out, but coming out in the world of drifting. but yeah, so let's drop that. But wouldn't it be fucking sweet to see an 8 versus 8 again, like just best of the best in both worlds.
Battle of the Nations sort of thing.
And also to go back where we just were, would you also support our invitational S13 KA only event to try to make all the pro drivers party drifters and just everyone's got the same car? Like this costs fortunes and lots of manpower, but we need to get like 16 cars, 16 KAS 13s that are nearly identical, and we need to make sure there's no foul play, and we need to make sure that every motor is like the best stock KA we could make. Every car is a welded diff.
I think we should call it the Maximum Driftcast Limited Open.
Limited Open. I like it. Yeah. So we get 16 S13 KAs. We make sure they're almost as identical as possible. We get a suspension sponsor. So we have coilovers, we have welded diff, and then we have
same
tires.
Horsepower.
Tires.
Same tire,
yeah.
yep.
So and then we get the best 8 Americans, the best 8 Japanese, and we fucking duke it out. Would that not be the biggest best drift event that has ever been made? Like that would be.
I think it would be the best, but I think you know what.
It'd be boring to watch, maybe.
It would,
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
the opposite.
No.
I think it would be harder fought, and it would cause more drama and more everything than any professional drift event ever.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure of that.
Which
yeah.
I mean,
but that'd make it great.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, that kind of drama, I think, is like it sells good.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's kind of like New Zealand's Red Bull shifters.
Yeah.
You know, like you bring the best drifters from all over the world, and
yeah. The problem is like this is less marketable than that. But Red Bull or NOS or Monster, if any of you guys are listening and you have like $100,000 you want to blow on this, we can handle it.
We can make it happen.
Yeah. Just let us know.
Give us a PayPal.
PayPal us 6 figures, and Alexi and Driftcast,
we'll do it together.
We're gonna work it out. We'll make it happen.
All right, well, just jumping back a sec, because there's a few things that I would like to...
Yes,
I mean,
please.
I mean, obviously, whatever, I'm just a dude here. You know, I mean, I know there's some people like think, oh, that guy reckons he knows everything, but just from the perspective that I've seen things from, okay?
Yeah.
Personally, I think, you know, this whole, the 2001 Battle magazine look that everyone has, I think, perfected in the United States now is amazing. Like all the, you know, super low S14s with the you know the tribal flame graphics and the big dish. I love it. I think it's awesome, and especially when you get like, you know, 5 of them all driving together in a team. Like what blows me away is there's enough dudes who organize themselves into, you know, with the same matching paint and that sort of thing. Like I think that's so cool.
Yeah, because
there's not that many dudes in Japan who do that anymore. Like there's Arbor Moon, which is probably the most famous one. It's the team of all R32 2-door and 4-door drivers. So they're all like super duper slammed.
That's rad.
But here's the thing with those guys, right? They also enter competitions. They also, you know, for example, in the MSC series, like they enter that, and as in the team drift. Like they even though they're party drifters, they do still take it seriously and enter competitions. You know, they still want to be able to win things. And the other thing too, all these dudes, like for example Nakamura. I mean, everybody knows that Nakamura petitioned for a license for FD. Like he's not. Is that common knowledge? I thought that was fairly. Everyone sort of pretty much knew that.
We talked about it on our show previously, didn't we, Paco?
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all these guys, like for example, all these dudes who everybody thinks that, like Yokoi, right? You know, I've talked to him many times. You know, he talks about like back in the day, he would, you know, get up before work and then, you know, he'd go out to the docks and just practice drifting. But, you know, but for as much time as he possibly could. No, he wasn't out there just to have fun. He was out there to get better and practice. You know, like all these dudes who are like these cool guys who we like. They all still do take it very seriously, and and they all kind of grow. Like here's a really good example that might upset a lot of people.
Bring it.
Okay, we all know Katsuhiro Ueo, right? He drove the garage shift A86, you know, that was super duper slammed on the small tires with the 10,000 RPM Toma engine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? That was probably the coolest drift car for its time.
Yep.
Now, you know what he drives now? He drives an S15 that's actually got raised suspension on it. He doesn't lower it. This is actually a new thing in Japan right now, which is I hope it doesn't really catch on because I don't quite like it, but it's called shako age. Now, if you ever heard the word shako age,
shock means
shako
means shock.
No, shako means like height.
Oh,
okay.
Dang it.
You messed up, Bugger.
And shako means height. Age means to raise.
Oh.
So if you ever heard like shakotan, like
yes.
It's the opposite of that.
Shakotan boogie.
So
yeah, exactly.
So raising
shakotan
cars
is like
beyond
so
the limit of what you
raising,
should do. So obviously there's a proper ride height that is what most FD cars are right now, and then like there's too low, which looks awesome but is not functional. Now you're talking about there's the other end of not functional but too high.
Yeah, not too high, but higher than stock, which gives them more
squat,
more suspension movement, more control over the car. And for the word actually age, like I don't know if anyone used to be on 4chan or something. The words sage and age means like vote up and vote down. It's that. It means up.
Got it.
So yeah, shako age, especially Ueyo and also Kawabata actually owns an S13 that's shako age, and they're sort of experimenting with this.
Vaughn's car is at least stock ride height. I think Vaughn's Mustang this year was probably about stock ride height. I dare say maybe his front end was maybe higher than stock Mustang.
But it squats like a mother.
Yeah, I mean,
it pulls like wheelies.
Obviously a very successful setup. So it's not that crazy. It just doesn't look as cool as Slammed maybe.
Exactly. So I mean, there are a lot of people who like that now, who they don't lower their car, or they'll have them at like standard ride height, but then they have bigger wheels on them, so they actually do sit a bit higher. So it's just as varied in Japan as it is in the States, but there's no real. But the big difference is there's no hate, because everyone sort of understands what everyone's going for. Really, like he wants to do, he's trying to go for big power and speed and grip. Okay, fine. I don't care about that. I just want to scrape shit and look cool.
Yeah.
And there's no real clash. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to talk it up or anything. I've looked for it. Like, no one really cares.
Yeah.
I mean, people sort of talk. I mean, people do talk shit. For example, about one big thing is it's the same in the States too, like airbags, right?
Yeah.
Like cars. Like, for example, I've got a mate who, he talks about, those Liberty Walk Lamborghinis, man, they're not actually low. They're just on airbags, so it doesn't really count.
Who the fuck cares? It's awesome.
Well, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, but
no, I don't apologize. I'm just saying that's
yeah. But the point is that I mean, I know there's guys in the States who run airbags, whatever. Yeah. But that's the closest I've seen to sort of shit talking, other people's setups as I can find. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, for example, the whole missile thing. Like, people don't tend to. I mean, I know that Daigo Saito used to, and this is just Daigo because it's Daigo. He, like, for example, he'd be invited to an event as like a guest driver. This is actually really common in Japan for, like, people will run a track day and they'll give a free entry. Everybody knows this. They'll give free entry to top level drivers so that they come to their event. So all the other people at the event, like, oh, Daigo's driving, let's go watch it.
Let's go watch. Yeah.
And Daigo would turn up at an event with his like JZX90, rusty, battered, piece of shit. And I know that some of the organizers would get a bit upset with him. You're like, man, we invited you because you meant to be like display, not that you didn't want to just show up with your piece of junk. Like, you meant to be Daigo. So, so there is that sort of thing where these days guys like that won't take their junk to where everybody can see it. They'll just go to a practice day at ABC Circuit on a Wednesday or whatever. So, there's that. I mean, that's the closest I've seen to sort of shit talking and people being upset with other people's cars, really.
Yeah.
So to hopefully put this topic to rest now and forever on the show, but with you, immediately, you would summarize all this by saying, and tell me if I'm wrong, but kind of what I said at the beginning is, don't be an asshole. Like, all drifting is cool.
I think all drifting is cool. I love the fact that so many people now love like what I love, and why get upset? I mean, the more there is of it, the better.
Yep.
What is it? What is the Bill and Ted? Just be excellent.
Be excellent to each other.
Yeah, exactly. Just one helps the other. It's just fun.
Yeah.
All right. So The moral
Still cool.
is be excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a bunch of Instagram questions from the listeners, and we always love the listeners. So,
Okay.
we're going
Should
to
I look up?
pull up yours
If you can,
pull up yours
check
as
it
well.
out.
It's always fun to have you guys look, but I'll fire it up with you. And now, Karaya_0 says, "What track is your favorite for drifting in Japan, and why?"
Okay. My favorite track for drift right now is probably Ebisu Higashi course, which is the Higashi is the one where you come up the big long steep hill onto the front straight and you do like the 3-motion drift and into the first corner.
Yeah, is that the jump spot?
No, the jump one is Minami course.
Minami.
Higashi's east course. That's probably my favorite, and the reason it's my favorite is because the corners are they're not too. It's a Goldilocks course. If like the corners are just the right length, the speed is just right. Like the fastest corner in at least in my Skyline is like it's sort of just into fourth and a couple of seconds at full throttle, and then you throw it in. Like it's not too fast, it's not too slow. You can drive the entire course at full speed, and have a really nice flow, and it's just enjoyable. There's enough space between the corners to sort of get your wits together. Okay, here we go, next corner, here we go, yay!
It's just that, like you said, the Goldilocks track. It's not too long, not too short, just right.
Yeah, that's my favorite for now. I think that's my favorite.
For now.
Higashi. Yeah.
All right, this one's actually for Paco. USSS Salgado says, "Do you plan on engine swapping your Dajiban, Paco, or are you keeping the V8?" And also Alex, for you as well, are you going to get a Dajiban too? So Paco.
Why would I swap it?
Why would you already have it sweet
it
V8?
Already has a Magnum V8.
A Magnum?
Not just a V8.
Magnum.
A Magnum V8. For those who don't know, that means it's very big.
Very big. And Alexi, now that you know that Dajibans are all the craze, are you going to be influenced by your own video and buy one?
Well, I drive a van now. I like vans.
What do you have now?
I have a Toyota. It's a Toyota Town Ace Noah Field Tourer. So it's basically one step below two steps below a High Ace. It's a van. It's good enough.
Yeah, it's a good enough van.
It's like it's not like a Previa. It's a bit different to that.
Nowhere near as cool, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's sold in the US. I did break out the tape measure and measure my car space that I can park my car in, and I would have about 7 or 8 inches between the door and the wall. So if I got like even the smallest and the shortest Dodge van, so I don't think I can keep one right now. I would like one, but unfortunately not for now. Someday maybe, yeah.
Okay. Well, our friends from Sleep Angle, Adam, is probably drunk.
These are some of the guys that run Grid Life, if you've heard of Grid Life.
We did a little podcast with them, but he says, "What's the matter with you, Paco? You're the best kind of stupid." I think he's drunk or something.
Yeah, he said, "What's the matter with you, Paco? You're the best kind of stupid," in regards to Paco buying a van, which is not even what we're talking about in this thread, but he just wants Paco to know that he's an idiot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But let's just skip to another question.
Yeah, that's not even a question. That was a statement.
It says, Alexi, this is a question from Arekusu, _.
Good.
Alexi, have you ever thought about building another car and competing in your divisional D1? Or, I guess, G1? You did G1,
well,
did you?
Yeah, okay, G1 Grand Prix is the Gaijin only drifting event, which runs before every Drift Matsuri, which is 3 a year. No, I won't compete in that because I'm part of. For everybody who keeps asking me, "Oh man, how do you keep a car at ABC Circuit? What do you have to do?" Part of the my deal for keeping a car there is the fact that I do the announcing at the G1s.
That's how they pay you.
It's sort of it's like an arrangement I have with them. So that's that. No, I won't do G1, which is fine because it's for all the people who come and visit anyway. Divisional, yes, I do. I have competed in D1 Grand Prix street legal before. I still have my JZX 100 sitting in the garage downstairs, waiting for me to bring it back.
We're waiting on that video as well.
Yeah, I know. Well, but now that the YouTube channel's picking up a bit, I might be able to sort of make it worthwhile to do. But yes, I would like to. Obviously, I would like to compete. I have competed before. I've got various trophies that say they say 2009 and 2010 on them. So nothing really any newer than that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yes, I will. It will happen.
Hell yeah. Iron Dookie, our professional commenter, says, last time Noriyaro Japan was on, I said Tofu Drift Fan should sell a stupid Previa and buy an old Dodge van. Since it's now confirmed Paco is susceptible to peer pressure, what should we convince him to do next? So obviously the next thing that you say, Alexi, Paco is going to do, what is it?
Well, I'm just looking at the next comment down.
Yeah, I was going to say. I just noticed Dookie Kookie. I wonder if this is an account just made to parody Iron Dookie, and he says Noriyaro. You want to tell us?
He says anal.
Yep. Moving on.
Well, what should be the next stupid Japanese thing that Paco does?
He bought a Buick Riviera.
Riata.
Right. Riviera. That's a cool car though too. Riata. He has a Dodge van now. He's got the Aztec. He's got the Previa.
The Avalanche.
The Avalanche. So he sold the Aztec.
I still have.
You have the Aztec.
I still have the SVX.
Where the fuck do you put all these cars?
The Alcyon, like it's known in Japan as a Subaru Alcyon.
Where are all your cars? I haven't seen. I suppose at your house for your birthday.
I don't even know how I keep them.
Yeah, you don't even keep track of your cars anymore.
They're somewhere.
Ugh. All right, so what are we gonna convince him to do? He's gonna buy I'd say a Countach.
Okay.
All right, Paco's gonna get a Lambo Countach.
Do you agree with that, Alexi?
Yeah, and put all those like LED lights on it, like those guys on those videos.
What's his name?
Morohoshi.
Morohoshi.
Yeah. More practically though, Paco should buy a Fiero and turn it into a Countach with a body kit.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a Pontiac Fiero.
Yeah.
Full Bososoku.
Yep. Countach.
Make it like a Countach Bososoku Fiero.
I'm very into this.
Okay.
I'm totally down with that.
Perfect. Question. Okay, this is a good one. It's from Hud and Bearing Drift. He says, Noriyaro Japan. Do you have two Instagrams by any chance?
Noriyaro was taken by some other dude, and he hasn't updated it for a long time. Like, he'd basically take my photos and re-upload them with a filter. So
you are Noriyaro Japan.
I am Noriyaro Japan, yeah, not Noriyaro.
Wow.
So, yeah. Anyway.
So, okay, I have to change that. So he says, 3 Dajibans line up on grid. One has only 2 psi in each tire. One is running with only half its cylinders, and one only has a handbrake. Which do you choose to use for a 5-lap race?
Damn. It's in depth.
I didn't know there was going to be math involved in this.
Yeah. So 2 psi each tire, half cylinders, or handbrake. Only has a handbrake, as in you don't have a brake.
Well, if I'm assuming these are Dajibans, like the modified ones. I don't know.
Let's assume that they all are equally modified with like tires and springs and a diff or something.
Dajibans.
Well, as long as the brakes work, I wouldn't really worry which one I took. I think, see, that was one of the things that really surprised me when I went for a ride with. You saw the video when I went for a ride with him.
Yeah.
Those things on the standard brakes, they stop. They really stop well, like it has race brakes on it. I was really surprised with how well they stopped. Obviously, they're meant to be carrying, a lot of cargo and stuff.
They're made
like
for big weight.
Yeah. I was quite impressed by that. I'd probably take the one with low pressure because you probably wouldn't notice how badly it handled to begin with.
But you DB'd on the first corner and then die.
Well, what if that 2 psi tire has glue, like an FD?
Chelsea style?
Chelsea style.
Hey, I want to talk to him soon.
Yeah.
Chelsea, I love you if you listen. I don't think he does. But I love you. Talk to you soon, bud.
Well, I mean, I've seen enough sort of, those the highway patrol chasing videos from, LA and stuff like that to know that all
you don't even need
pretty
tires.
much any car can run for a long time on just rims. So I wouldn't have a problem with the 2 psi one. Yeah.
Eric.docx says, how's your day been?
I woke up and had some breakfast and a coffee and I spoke to you guys because it's only morning here in Japan.
Yeah, it is currently 8 p.m. here. And we're about to go out and get lit AF fam for Halloween.
Okay, question from JJ All Day 14 says, do people freak out in Japan when they see old American muscle cars like we do when we see imports? Do they even have them over there? And before you answer, I know this shop in in Japan. I can't remember the town. That it pretty much only does old school, all muscle cars. And I know because they bought one of my C5.5 from bumpers for Corvettes.
Okay.
And they have like the coolest cars down there. But every time I see him posting a photo, it's like, man, that has to be so cool. Like driving around Japan in like a '68 Chevy, like like full muscle stuff. But anyways, yeah. So what do you say about that?
I mean, I've never actually driven one around myself, but I think you probably wouldn't get as much attention as you would in the States, I guess, because people react to a car depending on what sort of emotional reaction they have to it, right?
Yeah.
And if people don't have sort of an emotional reaction, if it's only like, oh wow, that's a big car, that's it. They don't. I don't think they really notice that much. But if, for example, if when they were young, maybe they owned one or something like that. Like, for example, I used to get this when I bought the AE86 here. Literally every time I'd pull up at a convenience store or like somewhere like that, some like 45, 50-year-old man would appear out of somewhere and walk up to them and go, oh, I used to own one of these, and start talking about how he used to drive it in the mountains and stuff like that. So as far as the American muscle stuff, you know what? I don't think so. I think people are almost a bit self-conscious when they drive around those sorts of things because they know that they're so big and huge
it's just like
and
waving your
imposing
dinger
compared to everything else.
It's like having your pants down and dinger out.
So, one time I was stuck in traffic in a small street, and both ways were very slow traffic, and I was rolling forward, and I could see rolling towards me was what was it? It was I was like a Camaro, like an old Camaro with a jacked up rear end and big tires on the back, and it was all black and sleek looking. And as I rolled past the guy, I just rolled past, and I did that thing where I brought my thumb up, like from below the window, and gave him the thumbs up, just very slowly, like looking at him with a straight face.
You're wearing sunglasses, and you tilted them down so I could see your eyes.
So yeah, that sort of thing. And he just sort of looked at me and sort of almost giggled and just gave me this he gave me the thumbs up back. Like he's like, oh yeah, you think my car's cool? Thanks. Like as if it wasn't something that happened that often. So yeah. I mean, I just think the fact that they're so huge that they're very impressive, but people don't have the same sort of reaction I'm sure you get in the States if you pulled up in like an old muscle car at a gas pump, and people come up, oh wow, cool, what's this, man? Like you don't really get that sort of thing.
One of your last videos, you went to this American car show, and half the cars there were Japanese.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that show was like, remember at the start of the show I was talking about that guy Tokoro George who's interested in like all lots of weird stuff. Yeah, that was his show, and one of the things he does is like
my kind of show.
It was great. Like he does up Japanese stuff in that sort of style. So he'll take like local, like on that video I took, there was like a March, like a Nissan March. Like I don't know if that's even sold in the States, like a little compact car, and painted it up with all the rat look patina or whatever, and making it look like it's been like a barn find sort of thing. Like that's sort of the look that they do. So I mean, it was mostly Japanese, but then it is Japan. So what do you expect?
So we have excellent commenter here, Chris J.D. Isis. In 23 words or less, explain why New Zealand is better than Australia. In 13.5 words or more, explain why Maximum Driftcast is the only word in audio-based drift media.
And go.
23 words or less why New Zealand is better than Australia.
Yeah.
Is it?
This is tough for you, I'm sure.
Well, that's like saying to an American, explain why Canada is better than the United States.
Don't
one word.
You can say the C word on this show.
Poutine.
So well, I think New Zealand's great. I mean, it's the Australians have the same relationship as I guess you do with Canadians, where it's like if you can make fun of Canadians, but if someone else makes fun of Canadians, you're like, hey, settle down.
Hey, it's don't talk about Canada.
It's that.
Yep.
It's
that same sort of thing.
My neighbors.
So you're telling Chris, hey, calm down.
Calm down, Chris JDSS.
And that was more than 23 words, but I'll let it slide. All right, now in 13.5 words or more, why is Maximum Driftcast the only word in audio-based drift media?
It's the only
drift podcast
that has lots of spaghetti meat balls.
That's right.
Perfect. You got that right. Ding, 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 ding.
And the full stop is the half a word. So bam, there you go.
Boom.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Wow, you are a professional broadcaster.
Broadcaster. All right, well, we are going to be shutting this stuff down. We appreciate
and not because we don't want to keep talking to you, it's because I have 5% battery on my phone.
Yeah, the phone's going to die.
Okay.
We got to go Halloween. But
I got to go too. There's an event on. I'm just going to head out to it today. It's called Chiba Damashi, or the Soul of Chiba. It's out at Mabara Circuit. I'm going to make a YouTube video about that. I made one last year, but I'm going to go again because it's a cool event. There's lots of cool guys there.
How big is Halloween in Japan? Just real quick.
Well, when I was talking before about picking up these Facebook guys, they were staying in a hotel in Shibuya, which is like the big, the big crossing where
electronic,
and
technology corner.
It's the fashion area.
Sorry,
but,
I confused it with Akihabara. My bad.
Nerd.
And it's like a party area, so everybody dresses up and goes there, and it was full of people in costumes, and like it was a little bit cold and raining at the end of the night, so there's like girls in short skirts dressed as Pikachu or something, stumbling around half drunk. This is great. I should really get out and have some fun. And one last thing, this is how sort of funny Japanese people can be sometimes. There was last year they had a policeman in like a cherry picker directing the crowds trying to get around like the main crossing area, and he ended up with the nickname DJ Police because he looked like he was in a DJ booth. And he became quite famous. This sort of internet meme is like, hey, is there going to be a DJ Police? Is DJ Police going to be there this year? And so.
Well, we'll find out.
So very, very big Halloween event in Shibuya every year.
Sick.
But it's basically just an excuse for people to dress up and wander around and drink Chuhai on the street.
All right, that's all it is here too. But instead of Chuhai, it's Smirnoff Ice.
Chuhai.
Hey, well, thank you for taking time to talk to us in your Japanese morning.
Thank you again.
And I'm sure we'll talk to you again sometime soon. And
thanks a lot for your time.
Make sure to tell your new millions of subscribers how great we are, please.
I'll make sure they all know.
Yay!
Thanks, Alexi.
Okay.
Hey, have a good day.
And I'm sure you and Paco are going to be just talking nonstop.
Yeah, last
about
thing, Paco, what have you done? What have you done? Do you realize what you've done now?
I do, man. Well, I mean, I've been doing that.
He's been doing this same thing for
quite
years.
Some years.
This isn't anything new.
Yeah.
But I blame it on you.
Yep. So. Thanks a lot, Alexi.
Great. Okay. Catch you later.
Hey, have a good day, bro.
Later, man.
Thanks, man.
You too. Bye.
Bye. And let's not hang out and like talk a lot of like bad things about him while he's listening. I just hang up.
He's still there.
Nope,
he's gone.
There you go.
Oh, that guy, I didn't believe a single word of anything he said. Just kidding. That was fun. It was good.
Yeah, it's such a great guest.
Such a great guest.
I mean, like, think about it. Like, we're getting the technology these days.
Yeah, we can just, iPad, iPhone, I just don't know anymore.
I just talked to somebody in Japan and in English.
To a Japanese Australian man to talk about drifting in Nippon.
And
hey! We're gonna cut it down because I really have to go to the bathroom. So we're gonna shut this down. So Corey and I are gonna be in SEMA. Paco, you're gonna be working on your Dajiban.
And the Maximum Driftcast Dajiban.
Maximum or the Driftcast Dajiban.
Driftcast.
And we're gonna put some black lights in there. We're gonna put a bed and or a couch.
Are we?
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, good.
I think we should like ask people to. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's try this. Leave in the comments what should we do.
Yeah, how we should modify the Dajiban.
Maximum Driftcast Dajiban.
And also, Paco, you should make a blank template, like how drivers and teams do, like a blank livery template. I know this sign. Jesus, Paco, like a blank livery template. It's like a white side view of a Dajiban, and let people design our livery.
Dude, that's a great idea. I'm gonna post
Paco's gonna put this together for us.
I'm gonna post this together. And I'm gonna send like the sign Dajiban.
And we're not guaranteeing that we're gonna put anything that you do on the car, but we would like to see what you do, and maybe maybe it'll end up in the side of the Dajiban.
I foresee a lot of
spaghetti and dicks. That's about all I expect from our fans.
Perfect.
All right, well, you guys rock. Thank you for listening again. Please subscribe. Please
and
do rate
rate.
us. Rate us on iTunes because
we need the ratings.
we've recently learned that for our show to get bigger and for more fans to know our inside stupid jokes, we need ratings on iTunes. So please rate us and share with your friends as always. And thank you.
And also, here's the thing: we really appreciate if you guys, if you listen to the show and you like it, share it on Facebook.
Yep.
Here's the thing: paid advertising on Facebook doesn't work. Regular advertising on Facebook doesn't work. The only way to get out there is
kind of works. But you need shares. You need shares.
Yeah, at our level of let's say like, just please,
please do it. Oh my God, please.
We're begging you.
But we love you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, please share.
And,
thanks for listening.
Check Paco out Tofi Drift Fan. Check me out Drift Idiot. Check out Corey at mymom.com. No, that was
Drift Mom.
Drift Mom. No, yeah, Drift Mom.
Actually, no. See, your mom's Instagram is Drift
Mom 52, yeah. I believe.
Drift Mom 52.
I think so. Mom, what's your Instagram? I mean, Corey, what's your Instagram? She's gone. All right, whatever.
All right. Corey's gone.
I think it's Drift Mom, but you know, if you want to check out my mom on Instagram,
Sam will put a link on it. But yeah, anyways,
it sounds weird. Anyways, Corey Hosford
and at Street Standard.
Yep, and
to a perforance
and
hotdogsatlegs.com. Spaghetti and meatballs.
Should we leave with our Halloween song that we've been working on? Okay, you ready?
It's supposed to be like a Gregorian chant for Halloween,
but that's hard to follow for me. Like, because we have been practicing this song for months, so let's just sing it.
Okay.
So it starts. You remember how it starts? It starts.
Yes.
Halloween is a wonderful time
of the year.
That was really good.
Good night.
Have a good night.